So this next series, we're gonna talk about front headlocks. And this is a great, really common position for wrestlers to be in. We're really comfortable in our front headlock positions. So we're gonna show a little bit how to get there, but more like how to finish and how we want to get submissions going, different variations of submissions, different locks, different hacks from there. So front headlock is gonna be like one of your prime positions to be in when it comes to transitioning into Jiu Jitsu. So again, I showed this in a previous series as far as takedowns from the front headlock. So one of my favorite ones is that football tie, where I'm just coming collar tie here and I'm pulling his head to my bottom hand and right to the chin, and I'm using his head. So I got both hands on the head, on the bottom here, top here, and I'm just pulling him down to the mat. And really a lot of control here, because where his head goes, his body is gonna follow, right? And then from here, I can look to start to attack all my front headlock type positions. Our first front headlock we'll attack is our anaconda. So what I'm gonna do from this position, I got his chin. I'm already transitioning from his head to his arm here. I'm gonna pull out this arm and pull the elbow deep out to the mat, kind of at this 45-degree angle. So not out to the side, not straight out, but kind of out here. And then I'm gonna feed that same arm's elbow into the mat right here and block that arm. So I'm throwing my elbow in here, and then I'm throwing my hand on the top of his back, and this hand's gonna come and feed into the bicep. So this is the grip that I want. Looks like this without him. So it's kind of like a rear naked choke type grip. But again, I'm pulling this elbow out, feeding this elbow in, feeding it to my far hand, to the bicep. This hand's going on top. From here, I'm gonna tuck my head into that near side, the same side my arms are on, right here, and roll through to this position. From here, I'm gonna put the squeeze on, but I'm also gonna look to bump his head up onto my torso a little bit so I can get this squeeze and crunch him in here. And I'm gonna run my feet in this circular position to get that squeeze. So I'm squeezing my arms, yes, but I'm also bumping his head up on my torso and then running my feet right here. Again, I'm in this front headlock position. I'm pulling this elbow out, feeding my elbow in, getting my lock, my anaconda, grab my bicep, putting this hand on the back. I'm tucking my head underneath, rolling through, bumping his head up with my elbow, putting my torso, and just running my feet to crunch. So I squeeze and I'm running the feet here. Our next one from our front headlock, we're gonna look to get our 3/4 stack and feed it to our darts. So I'm gonna get my finger to finger lock here. I can even go gable grip here, hand to hand, whatever you prefer. I like to go finger lock first and then feed it to my gable grip later on. So I'll be here, I'm trapping outside. I'm gonna change my knees. So this knee's out in front, this far knee is gonna come down, and then this knee's gonna come up. So I'm just gonna have my grip out, and I'm gonna slide my grip to his neck. So my grip moved from his armpit to the far side of his neck. From here, I'm gonna drop my elbow down and look to pull his neck over. And this is where, like, whether you have finger to finger lock, you have a gable grip here. Gable grip is really solid to bring this over. Even some people like to interlock the fingers and bring it this way and get a really good trap. Finger to finger, you can go gable grip, right? Or you can go interlock the fingers and then come over the top. So look like this. Finger to finger, you bump them over, it could be gable grip, bump them over, or it could be finger to finger, lock, bump them over. I like using this gable grip here, and I'm gonna drop my near shoulder under his torso and pull his head under his body right here. Solid grip, and then I'm grabbing the back of his head, sliding his bottom arm through, and getting my darts position right here. I like to take it deep and grab my bicep, really deep here. Some people grab the forearm right here, just get a good nice grip. Again, wherever you feel most comfortable, every body is physically different, right? So I'll feed through deep. Finish number one, I'm gonna sprawl out. So I'm keeping here, and I'm gonna drive his shoulder into the mat and create this squeeze where I'm pulling the neck and the shoulder together, cutting off that blood flow, carotid artery, right? So pull the head in, get it nice and deep, sprawl out, squeeze. The same thing, front headlock position, attacking this gable grip, I'm sliding it through. Boom, kind of stack pass, I'm dropping my shoulder under his torso and bumping it through his hip, grabbing the back, sliding through, deep Darce grip. Finish number 1 is gonna be our sprawl, boom. Finish number 2, I'm gonna keep this position. Sometimes guys are just tough here, they won't tap, I can't quite get the right angle. So I'm gonna keep this same grip, same Darce, I'm gonna walk towards his legs and step over his top leg. I just wanna step over this top leg. From here, instead of pressuring straight down, I'm gonna lean and create more of like a neck crank type position, as well as the choke. So I sit to my hip from here and I lean into it, boom, and I get that tap. So front headlock, 3/4 stack. I'm here in this front headlock position. I got my grip to the far side, out of his armpit here, and then I'm sliding it through here for my gable grip, and I'm gonna bump him to his hip. So I'm sliding this shoulder under, bump him to his hip, grabbing the back of his head, feeding this Darce through, getting it nice and deep, sprawling out, get finish number 1, tap here. If I can't get it there, I'll keep the same grip, walk my feet over to his legs, step over, locking these in, and then I'm just gonna sit to my bottom hip here and lean into this choke slash crank, get that tap. Cool. Next one we'll show here is the assassin. So again, I'm attacking this front headlock position. This time I'm going to lock my gable grip or lock my grip and lock it outside his arm, trapping this far arm. So my grip this time is gonna be slidden out towards his arm, and I'm gonna look to tuck this arm underneath him, gator roll him through to my assassin finish. So I'm here, I'm tucking the head underneath, boom. And then once I'm here, I'm gonna step over and look to sink my hips into this guillotine slash assassin finish, right here, boom. If I can't get the finish there, for whatever reason it's not tight enough, I can also jump and bring it all the way through, bring both knees off to the side, and then sit my hips as I run down and get the choke right here. So again, for this one, I go gable grip out to the side. So I got my grip outside of his arm, so I'm tucking this arm under, rolling knee underneath, tucking my head, boom. Stepping over. Can stay right here in this mount position, look to get the squeeze on from here, or I can bring both knees over, sit this hip, run, get the choke that way. Next one we'll show from here is the Peruvian. It's one of my favorite all-time finishes, a little bit more jiu-jitsu than it is wrestling, but it's starting from this front headlock position, right? So I'm gonna attack front headlock, I'm gonna get a finger-to-finger lock like this, and I'm gonna bring it seatbelt, so across his chest, covering his head and his arm. So he's here in this front headlock, I'm grabbing finger-to-finger, and I'm actually gonna step pretty high, so I'm gonna bring my weight high into him here and pressure into his hips, so his weight is back, and this seatbelt lock is across his chest more than it is by his neck, so it doesn't feel as threatened here from this position. So I'm pressuring in, and then once I got it pressured in, I'm gonna step high with this leg, so it's bringing it over his head, and I'm gonna sit to my hip and throw my other leg over the top of his hips here, so he can't roll. If I don't do this, he can roll through. As a defense, I kind of lose the position. So I wanna look to catch his hips with that other leg. So again, I'm here, seatbelt, finger to finger, just stepping high. This leg's already over the top of his head. I sit back, catch, and then from here, my finish, I'm just extending this bottom leg to kind of put the pressure on his neck, and this thumb bone is gonna feed into his neck to get that nice choke going. So again, it's here, I step high, I fall back, throw this over, I'm pressuring down, get the tap. All right. So again, Peruvian, I'm gonna get my front headlock position, finger to finger lock. I'm locking over his arm, coming up high, stepping. My leg is already over his head here once I step high. And when I fall back, I'm gonna bring that other far leg over his hips, catching his head underneath. The main thing I don't want is his head to pop out. If his head pops out, I lose the position. So it's kind of really maintaining that contact between my elbow and my knee, or my arm and my leg, so he can't pop that out. I keep that pressure in. So it's here, I keep that pressure in, boom, nice and tight, throwing this over, and I'm just extending that bottom leg. Boom. A lot of times you're gonna wanna pull with the arms, really squeeze, get that up in there, but you'll burn out your arms that way. The leg is a lot stronger. So really it's just getting that position, having that thumb bone up in his neck, and then extending that bottom leg to get the submission on tight. I know, last one I want to show from there is T-Rex choke. So this one's a fun one. Still going. So from our front headlock position, we're gonna do that football tie again. So I'm coming front headlock, I'm pulling him down. So I have front headlock, hand on the chin, pulling him down to the mat, and I'm already halfway there for this T-Rex choke. So I'm using my, again, thumb bone, and I'm gonna lace my other hand over the top of this hand and pull his head into my chest like this. So it kind of looks like T-Rex, right? So I'm here, I already got the one hand where I want it. This hand is just gonna drape and follow it and be right here over the neck. So it's just a head choke. I'm not engaging with the arms at all. I'm just coming over here, and I'm going to bring my elbows in to trap his head under my chest, right? So his defense is to get his head out to the side, one way or the other, and I want to keep it trapped in between. From here, I like to kind of hop up and just pressure in with my hips and raise up this choke, right? A couple of things he might do from there. He might sit to his butt, right? That's fine. I'm still trapping the head here and pressuring in with my hips, right? Or he might come up to his feet, right? So I'm here in this position. He comes up to his feet. That's fine. I'm just going to keep him trapped and run my feet here, right? Get that choke. So it's here. This hand's already on the neck. This one's going to lace over the top of it. It's going to look like this. This wrist bone is going up into his neck, and I'm just trapping his head and using my hips. One more time. Here, pulling him down, coming lace over the top, boom, walk my hips in, get that choke. He comes up to his feet. I'm still trapping his head, not letting it go out to the side at all, and just walking my feet. It's here, right? And I'm lacing this over the top and then collapsing, right? So football tie here, lace over the top, collapse the elbows. So one quick thing I forgot to mention is just a variation of these different Darce and Anaconda positions. So I love to get in this front headlock, and when I'm here, go elbow to elbow. So I'll grab both my elbows and be in this type of lock. From here, I have a lot of options that I can do. So I can go to my drop Darce, right? And run this here. I can go to my hip bump where I'm covering the head here and bumping them over to that hip and sliding the Darce in nice and deep, boom. And I can also go to my Anaconda from here, boom. Where I'm like this, right? Elbow to elbow, and then I'm just sliding through, getting it nice and deep, boom, feeding here. And slide, go to my Anaconda finish. So love that elbow to elbow. Play around with that, but a lot of times I go to that Darce mostly. So look for like this elbow to elbow lock, boom, and then bump him to his hip, right? Looking for that Darce finish right here.